I'd like to call forward the next 6 panelists, and come on up, everyone. As we get going, I'd also like to call your attention to a yellow piece of paper on the top, great ideas for the 2016 International Year of the Pulses. Now, what panel is about is our 6 panelists, which are from individual countries that have already taken the lead on the country committees, and they're going to share with you the great ideas that they've come up with. But in the same time, when they're done, we're looking for each of you to write your great ideas down and to share them. We'll have Hakan and Robin and Tim, and the 3 of them will be going through the audience with microphones roving around with the whole goal of catching your great ideas. And then what we'll do is we'll let you all go for coffee, and Iman and Mattia will summarize them and come back and present the 10 greatest ideas. So put your thinking caps on and listen to what our panelists have to say and see what you can come up with for your country. I'd like to introduce Andrew Jacobs, who's from Portman in the UK, and Andrew will be the first one. He'll talk to you from his chair and tell you about the great ideas that he's come up with in the UK.
Good morning, Ceciles. When British people say good morning, they expect you to respond with a greeting. If you're Australian, you might say good day. So let's try it again. Good morning, Ceciles.
Good morning.
Okay. Only stay in the room if you have interest for demand for your product and services to increase by 30 to 50%. So if you're satisfied with where your business is now and don't really care if it grows or not, you can slip out now and go join others in our industry who are doing deals in the lobby, which helps this year's targets, but will ignore the best ever opportunity to grow your whole category. Of course, I'm talking about the once-in-a-career opportunity to grow your businesses by the United Nations designation of 2016 as International Year of Pulses. Good morning, Ceciles.
Good morning.
Okay, the small but enthusiastic UK IOP promotion group has been actively planning how we can effectively promote increased pulse consumption in the UK market ever since the close of last year's convention in Singapore. 2 other members of our UK promotion group are here with us today. So Milan Shah and Khalid Pravez, please stand up so people know who you are and can seek you out afterwards to learn more about UK activities. The UK's big idea is to create awareness and build third-party endorsement of the health, nutrition and sustainability benefits of pulses before we approach retailers, especially our 5 dominant supermarkets. We've been using the last 6 months to try and gain endorsements from government departments and others. The UK Minister of Agriculture saw us promptly and has been supportive from the beginning. But we have struggled since November 2013 to get an appointment for a face-to-face meeting with the Ministry of Health. Finally, we are now engaging with a middle-ranked civil servant who runs the Change for Life Healthy Eating program. But our repeated requests to meet with the Minister of Health herself or the government's obesity czar have been unsuccessful. We are persistent and determined, and we will not take no for an answer. But please don't think 2016 is a long time off. As you've seen, that we spent 6 months just trying to get a meeting with the Department of Health. So we are now reaching out to NGOs like the Vegetarian Society, Celiacs UK, Diabetes UK, British Retail Consortium, and once we've met with the Ministry of Health, we plan to engage with the UK's National Health Service. The point of this strategy is to create a buzz about pulses, have organizations talk about the health, nutrition, and sustainability benefits, so that by the time we approach retailers and supermarkets, there will be endorsements from third parties who have no commercial interest in promoting pulses, but who will endorse that pulse consumption is a good thing. All this takes time, so the sooner you start, the better the job you'll do. In the UK, supermarkets will start discussing in October 2014, let me just say that again, in October 2014, what products they want on the shelves in 2016, and they will finalize their choices and promotional activity by March 2015. So we only have another 6 to 10 months to make sure pulses have the highest possible profile deserved by IOP. UK is not only a big and constant importer of beans, lentil and chickpeas, UK is also one of the world's top 3 exporters of faba beans, especially to Egypt, Sudan and the Arabian Crescent. So we look forward to learning today from ATEF and the Egyptian promotion group what they're going to do to use IOP to promote Egyptian consumption of fulme d'Amez made from imported faba beans. IOP is the best promotional opportunity in my 42 years in the pulse business. It's very much in my self-interest, in your self-interest, in all of our self-interests to grasp this opportunity. Don't leave it up to someone else. Roll up your sleeves and come and join us. Don't leave it until next month or next year. Get committed now. If you're encouraged by what you hear today, come and talk to Cindy Brown or myself or one of the other members of the oversight group about how you can play your part in making IOP a resounding success. 2013 was International Year of Quinoa, which the quinoa industry itself did little to promote other than successful celebrity endorsement. Quinoa imports into the USA and Europe increased in 2013 by 30%, and prices increased by 60%. If the global pulse industry really puts our heart into this wonderful opportunity, we can also expect a significant boost to demand for pulses, which should last long beyond 2016. Learning the value of celebrity endorsement from quinoa, our UK group is currently approaching a top international TV celebrity chef, Jamie Oliver, with an invitation to him to be our celebrity ambassador for IOP, with an expectation he'll make a series of cookery programs featuring pulse dishes from around the world, including a cookbook. As an industry, we can't buy advertising on TV or in journals, but the exposure pulses will get if we can attract a celebrity chef with an international following will be priceless. Come and join us as an IOP activist. Let's get to work.
Thank you, Andrew. You can certainly tell by his passion that he was first to organize in the UK, and they've really been a great leadership for our national committees. And they've developed models that we can share with all of you to help get your own organizations going. Tim Edgecombe from Pulse Australia will give us his next best and greatest idea.
Thank you, Cindy. Obviously in Australia we have a range of activities similar to those in the UK, but I wanted to focus on something that is fairly unique to Australia and present that to the forum here today. So our idea for International Year of the Pulse 2016 is to promote lupin flour as a health product and indeed a cost-effective source of protein for human consumption. Now we hear a lot at these conferences about peas, lentils, beans, etc., but not too much about lupins. So let me just give you a little bit of a background on lupins and lupin production in Australia. At the moment, we're forecasting this year to produce about 500,000 tonnes of lupins. We have in the past produced up to 1.2 million tonnes, and indeed have the capacity to produce much more. All of that production, or nearly all of that production at the moment, goes to animal feed. And yet let me tell you a little bit about the characteristics of lupin flour, and I think you'll find it quite amazing. Lupin flour has up to 45% protein. Now, peas, lentils, etc., around the 20, 25, 24%, I think Gordon might have quoted before. Nearly double the amount of protein in this amazing product. It has virtually no starch. So the implications for diabetes and diabetic products is quite amazing. Extremely high in fibre, high in lysine, very low in oil, so a great cardiovascular product. And obviously, as a result, you'd expect it has a very low glycemic index. So as I said before, nearly all of this product is now going to stock feed, and as a result, we've got some very healthy vegetarian cattle running around in Australia. So what we want to do is to divert that production to creating very healthy human beings in Australia and around the world. This opportunity has been recognised for some time in Australia, so for the last 20 or so years we've been conducting research into developing a range of new lupin products that we can feed into the mainstream products such as bread, pasta, noodles, biscuits, hummus, etc. And there seems to be in Australia and around the world a growing interest in developing some of these products, not just from the general public, but also we're getting great interest from food manufacturers around the world as well. And for those of you that were at Gulf Food recently, Lupin Foods Australia had a stand there showcasing some of the tremendous products that they're now producing commercially and starting to market around the world from a very small base. And last week, our own Peter Sembler organised a Tasting Australia event where we also showcased some lupin products, and again, starting to generate some fantastic interest in lupin as a health food and cheap, high-protein product for human consumption. So we see International Year of the Pulse as a fantastic opportunity to continue research into developing new and innovative food products through research programs we currently have in place in Australia, and perhaps even to partner with the Pulse Innovation Partnership in North America to work with them on creating new and innovative programs through that process. But the main opportunity in 2016 is to create awareness of this remarkable product alongside other Pulse products. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Tim. You know, we have a lot of wonderful ideas, more than just one, but I like the idea of lupin flour, 45% protein, product innovation. How do we make foods better? Our next panelist is Hugo Raji from Raji Agribusiness in Brazil. Hugo?
Thank you, Cindy. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Again, good morning. So, the main idea, we call it the new 50s. So the idea is return to the 50s related to our food principles, adapting to the new society profile demands. So getting the children into the universe of healthy food and including the adoption of consumption of pulses. Teaching them with ludic terms, getting them involved with fun and knowledgely, and ensuring that they fix the concept of healthier choices. As a resource, bring back some characters as Popeye that has a great association with the spinach, and get a space for new ones. Making, for example, the combination of food and superpowers and getting them involved with the benefits of pulses. As a profile of our modern society with the families getting each time less meetings including cooking and eatings, the mothers getting more involved with business and lack of time into their homes, and children attacked with the marketing including junk food, consuming fat, sugar, oil, and meat. Delight then the toys that they offer to them. We get the result of dangerous healthy problem. In Brazil, for example, 1 in 3 children are obese, and in each 5 of them, 4 will be obese forever. So bringing them the knowledge and creating a demand with a marketing association, as an example, creating a game, name it Peas Crush or Lentil Crush instead of the actual Candy Crush. Strengthening then their values and choices and can ensure the kids better choices and guarantee their consumption until adult life and future generations. But as we have nowadays a great power of the fast food industry, so if we cannot defeat them, then enjoy them. One way to achieve is bringing better choices on that market. And we need to create and offer to this industry raw material or processed food and offer at the same time healthy food, fast preparation, tempting prices, and taste. Education is the basis, but in parallel, we should join with those that nowadays are winning this battle, like McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, and others. So that, let's approach these big and developed products with the health field to offer to the population and get back better food choices. That's it.
Thank you, Hugo. I think about that, and I think about opportunities to have children become pulse eaters, because as Hugo said, if you start someone eating pulses early in life, they'll eat them for life. And in North America, I always think back to Popeye when I was growing up, and he would eat that can of spinach and flex that arm. Now we're going to say, power of pulses. Just think what you can do. So thank you. We have Jackie Tenuta from Pulse Canada next. Jackie?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited and honored to be up here today on this panel to tell you a little bit about what we're thinking of doing in Canada for International Year of Pulses. We have a group of people that is very, very excited and has a lot of enthusiasm. There's around 15 to 20 people involved in our group right now, and they represent the whole value chain. We have producers on our group, we have processors, we have exporters, we have researchers and a variety of research groups, and we're all very interested in getting involved and doing something exciting and beneficial for the pulse industry because of this great opportunity we have with the International Year. And as most of you are aware, Canada is a big producer of pulses, but we're not a big consumer of pulses. And so the focus of most of our activities are on increasing consumer awareness of pulses and increasing the awareness of the food industry as well in pulses, so that ultimately we can be increasing demand and increasing utilization of pulses in Canada in particular and North America in general. And our group had a lot of really fantastic ideas, and unfortunately I can't tell you about all of them here. I actually had a very hard time choosing which idea I would focus on today. So I decided to give you a two-part idea, so I'm kind of sneaking in an extra idea. So our great idea is a focus on culinary and food product development competitions. And there's two pieces to that. One is a Master Chef competition, which ideally would be a televised type of activity, if we can manage to do that. And it would have chefs come together to work with Pulse ingredients. And so it would be working to increase awareness amongst chefs and culinary professionals. And also what we think would have a great appeal to consumers who have an interest in using new ingredients and new ideas. And then the second great idea, that's sort of the second part of that, is we have an ongoing competition called Mission Impulsible that we've done now for the last number of years. And it involves culinary students and food science students at universities and various institutions across Canada. And so, of course, we're going to continue to do this event in 2016, but we really want to ramp it up and give it a new focus for the year, which we think will be really exciting. And so what we're thinking of doing at this point is pairing it up with the Olympics, because the Olympics, of course, is taking place in Brazil in 2016. And so our thought is to try to get students to develop food products that are geared towards athletes or towards better performance in some way. And so that's essentially the idea. And I would like to also extend a challenge out to the other national groups, because I think there's an opportunity to take some of these activities that are being done at a national level and even bring them to an international level if we've got more than one country that's interested in doing these things. And the two ideas that I talked about are great examples of that. We could do an international MasterChef competition where we bring together the winners from a few countries and create a bigger event. And we could do the same thing with the product development work that the students are doing. We could have an international event where we bring together people from around the world and really showcase what Pulses can do for food products. So those are my great ideas.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. You know, thinking about this, I imagine most countries have MasterChef competitions of some nature. I mean, they're all over television in North America. We see them here, we see them in Australia. Just think, if we were able to take the synergies from Canada as they present this and do it on an international level. Come to the National Committee meeting. We'll talk about that. Thank you, Jackie. Our next presenter is from India, and Mr. Chandrasekhar is going to give us a summary of what they're doing, because I know he has many, many ideas, and it's really hard, I know, to pick one.
Thank you, Cindy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Cindy and I and Praveen had a con call probably a month ago, and after that, I've been constantly thinking about how best to benefit from the International Year of Pulses in 2016. I'm privileged to be the spokesperson for the India Pulses and Grains Association here on this panel. I believe the priority for each country that's engaged here, that's a part of the CICILs, would be different. There are countries are at different economic levels or different levels of economic development and growth. There are countries with different market structures, countries with very different consumption pattern as far as pulses are concerned. And therefore, I believe the national associations will have to come up with plans and strategies and creative ideas that would best suit their nation, their country, their market. So this is how I'm beginning to think. And because India is the world's largest producer, largest importer, largest consumer, I'm convinced that if a quantum jump in pulses consumption in the world has to happen, it will happen in India. And it can happen probably only in India. And mostly Asia, let me put it, South Asia, but more particularly in India. And therefore, the priority for India, in my opinion, is to ensure or trigger a quantum jump in pulses consumption over the next several years. That's the first one. And that simply follows our food security concerns and nutrition security concerns. That's number one. Yesterday, I showed a slide where I said the per capita availability of pulses in India is only 13.5 kilograms versus nutritionist recommendation of 25 kilograms. You're way far below. Every 1 kilogram increase in per capita availability in India translates to additional consumption of 1.2 million tons. And imagine if this 13.5 kilograms were to go to maybe 16.5 kilograms or 17 kilograms, which is still far below the minimum nutritional levels recommended, we will probably have another 3 or 4 or 5 million tons extra consumption. I think that's a kind of quantum jump I believe all of us have to think about and work towards. That's number one. There are 5 theme areas: food security, health and nutrition, I believe for India, what is the most important is food security. And we at the India Pulses and Grains Association have already started. Let me tell you, we've already started working with the policymakers to promote the policy to supply pulses through publicly funded welfare programs like the Public Distribution System and the National Food Security Act. The National Food Security Act actually envisages supply of 5 kilograms of fine cereals to 820 million people. I think it's a huge, absolutely ambitious, one of the most ambitious welfare programs this world has ever seen. And we are keen that pulses are included as a part of this. And I think that's going to make a big difference. That's number one. We are also working with a number of research agencies like the Indian Institute of ICAR, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and the ICRISAT and the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University to increase or catalyze productivity increases. India's yields are about 650 to 700 kilograms, way below the world average and way below the Western world's average productivity, and we are going to be working towards it. We've already started the process of talking to these research institutions. The next one is efficiency. That's processing efficiency. We have prepared actually a plan for modernization of dal mills. There are 15,000 dal mills in India. Most of them are antiquated. They need investment, they need modernization, and we are looking for some funds for modernization, and I have reason to believe India's Planning Commission is favorably disposed to allotment of a one-time grant for modernization. And there are precedents, not in case of pulses, but in case of other crops like cotton. There's a cotton textile mill modernization fund. Similarly, it's possible to have a dal mill modernization fund. But more important is that we have actually begun to speak to major food processing companies in India, and we have encouraged them to come up with innovative, nutritious, but economically priced foods using dal, using pulses. Like I would think energy bars for school children, energy bars for sports persons, for instance. And I think this is something which we have triggered. It could obviously take some time. It could take up to a year for them to come up with products. But we want to promote use of energy bars with pulses as the ingredient, primarily amongst school children. And we have something called a midday meal program for school children, and pulses could become a part of that midday meal program. The next area of priority for us is again, when we talk of creating awareness, we are very keen to create awareness about food safety and food standards. We have a new law in place called the Food Safety and Standards Act of 2006, which is implemented from 2011. Most stakeholders in the pulses sector are not really aware of the nuances of these laws, the food safety and standards, and we are going to launch a major campaign to create awareness about food safety and standards. The last but not the least, I'm beginning to think that we will succeed in getting a big Bollywood star from Bombay to endorse and promote pulses
Wonderful.
in South Asia.
Wonderful. You have
All
a
right, thanks.
lot of wonderful ideas for India, and considering that you're the largest producer and consumer and importer, there definitely are wonderful things that we can take away, and we can create synergies within other countries to use some of these same programs. Our last speaker is Mr. Kinichiro Amatsu, and he's from Japan, and he will talk about all the wonderful things in a quick summary for what you're doing.
Thank you, Cindy. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For International Year, we got so many ideas. And one of idea is by using a very famous TV program, introducing health and nutrition benefit of pulse, and by using a very famous actor. And they did almond, walnut, black soybean in the past. And these commodities became a very long seller in the market. And it can be applied to Pulse. And we think it's the best idea, but it might take a time to make this TV program to do Pulse. So as our association, we decided to do exhibition at the Foodex Japan in 2015 and 16. Foodex Japan is like Anuga and Gulfood. About 80,000 people are coming. And most of visitors are retailer, catering, and restaurant people. So our main objective is creating awareness and introducing health and nutrition benefits of Pulse. So we will distribute a cooking book of world cuisine and books of health and nutrition benefits of Pulse. In Japan, main usage of Pulse is for sweets. And so we will do tasting of world cuisine, such as Brazilian, Italian, Spanish, to expand the market of a soup, salad, and main dish. Especially, we are planning to promote Brazilian cooking because of World Cup this year and Olympic in 2016. And we will say Brazilians are very strong and healthy because their main dish is beans. So, can I? And anyway, we will make an image. Pulse make you stronger and healthier. Thank you.
That's very good. Thank you. Pulses make you stronger and healthier. Thank you all of the panelists. Now, we've heard lots of great things. And now it is your turn, ladies and gentlemen, to come up with your great ideas. So don't be shy. As I said, we have people roaming the audience with microphones. And just raise your hand, and we want your best idea. Who's first? Gavin, have you got someone over there?
We got somebody over here.
Oh, thanks, Robin.
We have all sorts of great feedback coming in. We've got no meat, more pulses. We've got all sorts of answers coming in on these forms. And over here we have a lovely team of gentlemen who are going to give us some of their ideas. Albert?
Thank you, Robin. Well, from the Spanish Pulse Association, we are very encouraged to do many things, but we had the idea of in 2016, it will be the Alimentaria Food Show, so we feel we have to do something big and huge during that time. So this is just what I wanted to say.
Very good. Thank you, Albert. Something big and huge, and I know you'll come up with something. Who do we have next? Oh, we've got one? Right here. All right. Gentleman from the UK, I believe.
Hi. In the UK, we've already embarked on a project that we're speaking to our local councils in Wolverhampton and the West Midlands, and we are trying to get schools and junior, secondary, and infant schools together to start doing some sort of education on nutrition and also ingredients and with collages for infant schools to start creating some competitions, and winning schools will get prizes with students. At the moment, we've already got our major local council on board. We're talking to 4 others, and by the time we get them on board, the whole of the West Midlands will be together. Hopefully we'll have about 1,400 secondary and primary schools together to run these competitions.
Wow, that's pretty overarching. That's a lot of children that you'll affect. Who do we have? Gavin? Looks like Jeannie Wharton from the U.S.
One of the things that we're doing right now is forming a committee and getting some great ideas among ourselves. One of the things I'm doing as the staff person is working with national media. And I've had a meeting last week with 3 authors who do cookbooks and lifestyle magazine kind of things. And they're really excited about talking about pulses. So that's exciting to get the media to buy in.
Thank you, Jeannie. So we create awareness by getting media interested and hopefully lots of great other information. Tim. Hello, Bruno.
we may need a smart slogan to attract the attention and the interest of the consumers and the food manufacturers. It has to be very simple. One idea, pulses for records, records for pulses.
Oh, that's a nice tagline. Pulses for records. Records for pulses. I like it. Thank you. Gavin and Alex, I believe. Where are you from, Alex?
I don't know. I am international, but I am also the representative of the French Federation. And we have to do with our ways. We have not a big financial possibility, and we decided in France to put our effort on the pupils between 8 and 10 years, and to distribute in the school some cartoons about beans, about pulses. So maybe it's one of the ways. The second way is to promote the production also in France and to associate the producer to this effort. The third time is the canners who are using a lot of pulses in France, and to ask them to make some advertising on the TV about dishes with pulses.
Very good, thank you. You know, yes.
I think Alex raises a really important part, because a lot of what we're talking about is focusing on increasing demand, and as an industry we also need to give thought to increasing production to meet that demand. One of the concerns expressed to me by food manufacturers who have experienced what happened with quinoa and saw the price jump 60% in 2013 is, what can we as an industry do to make sure there's an adequate supply of product? And that really has to come for 2015 crops. So Northern Hemisphere, we're talking about things that get planted in March, April, May, June of 2015. And as an industry, and this is something the oversight group I think will be tackling, we have to be sending messages out. And growers really understand one thing. If we're going to ask them to grow more, they're going to say, what's the price? But at the same time, I think we have sufficient interest from people who are users of pulses to start thinking ahead about forward contracting. And this is an area that Alex has raised, but it's going to not only affect France, it's going to affect all major producers, and a theme we're going to need to pick up on.
That's a very good point. So as we go into this, our big goal, of course, is to have enough to sell as we create all this awareness. Robin.
Gordon Gregory from Archer Daniels Midland Edible Bean Specialties Company. Your point is well taken. As you just mentioned, in regards, this is all about creating options. As we look at the opportunity that you have before us all, it's about creating options for growers to maintain the rotations of having pulses in the crops, being able to break the disease cycles, be able to manage the risk of, is corn going to be $4 or $10 this year? So it's creating options not only for the US farmers, it's Canadian farmers, it's for international farmers around the world. It's creating options for the mothers that go to the stores to pick and choose the options of food, nutritionally dense, calories that count, foods that matter. We have a true opportunity in us, and what we see so many different ways. This, again, before my idea, this is a collision course. We have a great opportunity here. We're pushing from the bottom. You already have companies like Nestle, Mars, Unilever. They're all looking at sustainability. How are we going to be able to feed, as we all talk about, 9 billion people by the year 2050? The food companies are looking for answers and solutions. We are working together to help bring those answers and solutions to a finished product. We're adding value. There always will be commodities traded. For those that fear that we're going to lose a commodity market, that will always be there. But we're creating value for better foods as well. We're creating value to live a longer life. There is only one you. Each one of us in here are all looking to live a healthier life, and food is medicine. some of the small things that we as a company can do. IFT, the Institute of Food Technology, every year has an annual meeting. It brings food manufacturers, food developers from around the world, around this whole globe, looking at what are the new things that can be incorporated. Pulses have been around forever, but we're taking pulses to a place they've never been before. Not in a can, not in a 1-pound poly bag or a burlap bag. We're putting it into ingredients to improve the health nutritional label that is on there. So again, looking to promote in New Orleans this year, but in 2015 and 16 to the food technology, the developers of better food products, the awareness of what pulses can do.
Oh, thank you, Gordon. You've hit on so many points. I just have to applaud you. How do we take that message and keep it going through the rest of the world? Who else?
Yes, Cindy. I've got a speaker here.
Oh, thank you, Hakan.
Hi, my name's Chris Blanchard. I'm from Charles Sturt University in Australia, and I reckon if we're going to make an impact in changing dietary patterns, particularly in the Western society, the best target audience is to look at our undergraduate students who are going to become the future dietitians and food manufacturers. So I coordinate the largest food nutrition program in Australia, and I reckon it's a good opportunity for me to have an impact in Australia to deliver some really good educational resources for those. At the moment, they're not really available, but I think that's a really good way that we can have an impact. But we also produce a lot of the future food product development specialists, and I'm really happy to take on Canada in this area of developing new food products that use pulses. So, you know, we beat you guys in most sports and things, so I reckon we can give you a real challenge in this area, and happy to put that challenge out to any of the other countries who'd like to have a go at that as well.
Thank you so much. Robin, who do you have?
I have Nicole with the International Food Trader.
I know this idea has kind of been touched on a bit, and with all the great ideas coming out in this session, an idea kind of came to mind as far as, you know, as Gordon mentioned, food developments within the industry, as far as looking at advancements in food products with protein powders. And I was wondering if, sorry, can I reference my note sheet? I was wondering if, you know, if there's a way that we could look at, you know, engaging more of the fitness and supplement industry. You know, when we talk about the power pulses, you really think about the muscle behind it. And with engaging, you know, the sports industry, that also can kind of trail down to the end consumer. In 2011, CNN reported that 50% of North Americans use some sort of supplement, from multivitamins to protein-based powders sold over the internet. And so, you know, with the upcoming Olympics or ways to try to engage a spokesperson within the fitness industry, you know, whether that's looking at integrating pulse nutrition of diets or into actual food innovation of products. But, you know, the power pulses, you know, there's potential for a spokesperson such as Arnold Schwarzenegger with, you know, his active involvement in fitness and health and government, and potential to have a synergy there in that area. And so,
Fantastic.
Thank you. Those are fantastic ideas. As we look at so many people interested in nutrition and health and protein and everything that Pulses have to offer, to look at a global-based person that would talk about health and fitness. Hakan, who do you have?
I've got a young guy with great idea here.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been hearing all ideas spreading in here, and you are saying great ideas. I am young one. I am like 22 years old, and I am new at that business. Maybe I am the youngest one in here. Awareness is one of the things you should follow that. For example, public awareness on, especially on children, because this is easy to say that obesity on child is really huge. Awareness can be done through social media, and we've been talking that social media thing in our CYP, CSS Young Professionals. through social media, you can create huge awareness. For example, there are some people on Twitter, like Justin Bieber, like Selena Gomez. They got over 1 million followers, and those followers are really between 14 and 18 years old child. And those child are really addicted on them. For example, let's say Justin says, let's consume pulses. I can easily guarantee that 10,000 child started to consume pulses at that day. So if you contact them, if you contact those highly social people like those guys, maybe you can create great awareness. And I also read it on the paper that you have given. Maybe you can see that.
That's wonderful, thank you. So using social media to create more awareness, finding a spokesperson in the young person's age group that would lead it on. I think Hakan had another idea too. His name was Dr. Oz. Thank you. Do we have Robin? Good morning.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Cindy. My name is Randy Duckworth. I'm with the U.S. Dry Bean Council. One of the things that was mentioned today, Hugo mentioned it, was the number of people that are obese. Unfortunately, the United States is leading the charge in obesity, I think followed closely by Mexico and Brazil. Research has shown that it's incredibly hard to change people's dietary habits too. And one of the things that, that is increasing is people get more money, they eat more and more fast food. So how do we get a piece of what they're already eating? It's hard to get them not to stop at McDonald's. How we do that is we work through organizations, through companies like McDonald's. So there are organizations, for example, like the Research Chefs Association, whose job it is to develop products for these corporations. So these associations have trade shows where they would love to learn about our products and get our products incorporated into the menus of these companies, these quick-serve restaurants that are feeding the young populations, right? India, by the way, just opened the first all-vegetarian McDonald's. Now, I would think that there are a lot of Pulse products in those products that, you know, that would be transferable to other places like Brazil, like the United States. And so we should be working with those researchers, with the people that are developing the products. And this kind of fits in with what Gordon was talking about in IFT.
Super, thank you. I think Robin has one more on that side.
We absolutely do.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody. I'm Eleazar Cota from Mexico City.
Hello.
In the old cultures of Mexico, they consider the bean as a god food. But the reality right now in Mexico is 20 years ago, we used to consume 20 kilos per capita. Today is 8 kilos per capita. And this number is decreasing and decreasing fast. The trade in Mexico has formed a group, and one of the priorities is the International Year of Pulses for 2016. And we are getting together with the government to put a plan together, to put a plan together. But in the meantime, in our company, we use a phrase that I like to extend to everybody and extend for all the pulses. And it says, let's take care about the earth because it is the only planet that produces pulses.
That's lovely. I have to write that one down for another tagline. Tim.
All right, I have someone right here.
Welcome.
I'm Lloyd Nielsen from Bean Growers Queensland, Australia. One of the things that I've noticed, I think someone mentioned yesterday, there was 52 different countries represented at Sissels. And for me, the common denominator is the recipes that are hidden within the cultures in these countries. And I just wondered if either Sissels started a recipe book or maybe a recipe database, because I think that from Australia's point of view, we're similar to Canada. We produce and export a lot of pulses, but we don't necessarily consume a lot of pulses. And certainly in my business, we get asked for a lot of recipes and how these different pulses are used and what their uses are. And I think that from a cultural point of view, there would be a lot of different foods that are hidden in places that we haven't even considered that could all be brought together.
Very good, thank you. And we do have lots of discussion on recipes and cookbooks, so I think that's something that within the national committees that we can certainly take to a broader level. Hakan?
Yes, Anurag.
Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning.
This is Anurag Tulshan from India. I would again speak on the same lines as the young person behind me spoke regarding social media. I'm sure at least 90% of the people present here would have a Facebook account. We at CISLs could really make an attractive page regarding the 2016 Year of the Pulses, giving out all the merits of Pulses. And we can at least post that page once every week. Everyone would have 50 to 500 friends in their Facebook account. So at least if 50 out of those 500 friends could see and repost it, it could really go viral. So I think this can be a good idea. If we can, at CISLs, we can get together and make an attractive page giving all the details, and then we can post it and ask our members at least to keep on posting that page once every week on their account.
That's a really good idea. In fact, our website that we're developing has the automatic information sharing. So every time we update something on that website, it has the ability to go out and create more information. So I hope we're linked to a lot of things. Robin.
Hi, we have Greg Simpson here who has a personal media column that he can put to use for the year.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, yeah, so I've been fortunate in the last year to be able to write into a newspaper called the Agrimark in Moose Jaw with a circulation of 30,000 people twice a month. So on my part, I would like to be able to take information about International Year of Pulses and be able to take that to 30,000 people on a regular basis. And maybe as a challenge to everybody here, if you could contact your local papers and try to be a contributor. Papers are always looking for good information that would be widely beneficial to their readers. So that would be one idea that I've got.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Hakan,
Yeah,
who do you have?
Speaker from South Africa.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Winnie Kininda from Mpumalanga Province in Barberton. As we spoke about the issue of promoting pulses, one issue as for me, I started being involved in pulses in the past 3 years, and I've been working with the ARC, South Africa. So the challenge is, at the moment, is that as much as we grow bigger here in South Africa with pulses, South Africa, it's only mostly promoting two, which is the sugar beans and soya beans. I believe we need to now tackle the education system to start putting more information in terms of what pulses are and what role it plays in terms of nutrition. And the minute we introduce these new types of pulses, we're adding varieties to the communities, to the poor communities, to have option to choose. Because what you find is that people now in the school nutrition in South Africa, beans are part of it, but there are some students who said we can't go for beans. And then what other option do they have? If we now put pulses as a group of beans, and they can have option to put the other varieties, which means they give the other student who can consume beans a new product to use themselves. So in saying that pulses, let's now promote the varieties so that they can be used everywhere. And also the fact that as we promote pulses, let's ourselves be the first people that promotes the use of the pulses so that people can see from us. When we make dinners, we go out there, we put pulses in our table so people start experiencing them. In terms, people start to like things when they've eaten and they've heard the taste. So if we put the varieties on the tables, wherever we go, the companies, wherever they go, they make sure the menus include pulses. Then now people will get attracted and they start asking, how did you cook this thing? Where can I find it? Because I've been to the shops, you hardly find all the varieties in one shop. So let's try promoting in the shops. We have cookbooks, small cookbooks, and promoting the cooked menus of the pulses. Then they start testing, they want to practice it. Because I've worked in shops before when I was a student. I realized with having such things, especially in institutions, schools, and the like, you start now promoting with kids, they'll start saying, I want to try it, I want to prove to my parents I know how to cook this thing. So if we can promote cooking in schools and then promote the pulses in the shops, then there, I think we'll start catching the consumers being involved in pulses.
Oh, thank you. One more great way to involve a lot of people. And there's many of us who are really narrow in the type of pulses we eat. So what a good opportunity to expand. Gavin, who do you have?
I have the voice of Italy here. Tommaso. Oh, thank you very much. I'm actually speaking on behalf of Francisco Lamas from Argentina, from AA. Okay, the theme are two actually, health and nutrition and food innovation, and creating awareness. The title of the idea is Bring the Pulses Back to School. And this is based more than ever on an invitation to all the companies members of CCILS involved in production, trading, processing, and in general selling pulses. The idea is based on the fact that everybody should donate X percentage of the production, and these products are destined to the schools where the consumption of pulses is low or inexistent. Okay? This will allow us to achieve several goals, meaning improving the quality of the kids' diet, make pulses become a basic element in new generation diet, grant a future generation of pulses consumers, and of course it's a benefit for school and institution that will get the product for free.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I think we have only time for one more, and then we need to go to coffee. Is there one last remark, anyone? Or are you just too thirsty?
Well,
Let's go.
Cindy,
Yeah.
I would like to
Tim,
present my great idea. All right?
I'm waiting.
All right, here we go. I want to engage the youth, all of you who have children in the room, and also our CCILS young youth group, because I think each national association and each group should have their own music video download. All right? And that where there should be competitions, right, judged by the youth about what should go up on the website, because in America, what's really popular on YouTube is cat videos. And I'm done with cat videos. Let's have pulse videos, all right? So I'm going to give you a slight modification of one of my favorite songs that my children sent to me, all right? And it's a Phelan Williams song, so bear with me. I'm going to stumble through it a little bit. All right, but just to give you a taste of what it could be, right? And it's the song Happy, right? It says, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm pulses, clap along if you feel like pulses are the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like pulses are sustainable. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like pulses are the one.
Yay!
About that now. We should get that done in every national association. We should have a viral YouTube extravaganza.
It's perfect, and I hope someone caught him on video because that's the first one to go up. Iman and Mattia have been writing like crazy, getting all of your 10 best, all of your ideas, and they're going to filter through this and pick the 10 best and come back and present it. So please go off and enjoy a coffee break for a short time here. It looks to be about 20 minutes, and we'll welcome you back to hear the rest of our presentation and how you can become involved. Thanks.